What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. Today is day 30 of the Keto Rewind Clean 30 challenge for the month of January. So 2 days left. We're in the home stretch. Today we have a really easy recipe on the menu today. Actually, it's a full day of eating. That's real easy. If you have an Instant Pot or a crock pot, today's your day. I started my day off with a 3-mile walk. Normally we do between 3 and 5 miles. How far we go, it doesn't really matter. It's just the point that we went. So make sure you don't get caught up in, I can't do 3 miles, I can't do 5 miles. If you can do 1 mile, do it and be proud of that. Do it. So basically what I'm saying is you're still lapping everybody on the couch, no matter how much or how far you go. Just go, that's what matters. So today we're going to kick off lunch. And then I have plans this evening, so I'm actually making my dinner now while the kids are away at school, and this is something that you can make up ahead of time and have it later. So we're gonna do a turkey chili with cheddar biscuits. So let's walk through today, and then I will meet you right back here. Okay, so this recipe is real simple. We're gonna use 2 pounds of ground turkey. Back in the day when I was not watching carbs, I would have a higher sauce-based chili, but now I tend to put more meat in my chili, and like the ratio of meat to sauce has improved. So I'm gonna do 2 pounds in this recipe, and I'm gonna do only a can of diced tomatoes and a can of marinara. You can only use diced tomatoes if you want. I'm just doing the blend, that's how I make my chili. And because I went for a 3-mile walk, I'm going to be adding black beans. Now listen, black beans are a great source of protein, and they're a little higher in carbohydrate. But if you move your body, you earn those freaking beans. So I mean, 7 beans might land up in my bowl. You know what I mean? So in moderation, black beans are fine. So I'm gonna show you that you can have black beans too. Keto, remember, keto is not a food. Keto is a state, a nutritional state of ketosis. Black beans, you know, yes, they're higher in carb, but they're not completely not allowed. Now, if you didn't like black beans, that's one thing. You could swap something else, but don't sweat it. So I'm gonna grab a onion, and I'll meet you back here when we start cooking in the Instant Pot. One other way you can make this recipe is a slow cooker or even stovetop. So just because you don't have an Instant Pot doesn't mean you can't make this recipe. You do you. In fact, this recipe was actually requested. I got a lot of comments requesting a chili. So, hey, I'm listening, and that's why I put this on the menu for today, in addition to a yummy lunch that we had earlier. So anyways, let's get the camera angle going here, and I'll be right back. We're gonna start off with avocado oil to saute our onions. So put the Instant Pot, or if you're on the stove top, turn it on, and we're going to saute up some white onions. Why do I use white onions in all of my recipes? Well, white onions are the lowest in carbohydrates. Yes, there are carbs in onion. And I guess I'm going to clarify about the black bean comment. If you have not done any physical activity, maybe black beans wouldn't be the best choice. Maybe you should swap them with some canned green beans instead. There's no law about what you can have in your chili and whatnot. You do you. But because I moved my body, and then I feel like I want a couple black beans. I want 9 black beans in my chili. I'm going for it. So. But just keep in mind that, you know, there's other options. You can always be creative. You could throw broccoli in your chili. Why do you have to follow, you know, beans as the rule for having a good chili? Anything goes inside of a chili. Radishes. Also, radishes are a good option if you want, that's more like a potato. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, then you can turn your chili into more of a stew and load it with vegetables. So be creative. Don't just see no as your first answer. So we'll be back when the onions are all sauteed. Alrighty, well, the onions have got a nice translucent color, and now is the time we're gonna add in the 2 pounds of the ground turkey. And if you don't like ground turkey, swap it for ground chicken, ground beef, a combination of the three, you know, do you.
Beef and pork.
Yeah, the pork. This will probably make it easier on you. While we're waiting for our turkey to cook up in the next steps, let's start on the cheddar biscuit. So this is 3 ounces of cream cheese. I'm gonna pop it in the microwave to soften it. Add the 2 eggs. Give it a mix so that your egg and your cream cheese is all combined. And then let's check on our chili. We are ready to add sauce and spices at this point. So I accidentally bought turkey breast. I would recommend ground turkey, not turkey breast. It just makes a little bit more for a flavorful chili with the fat. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. But just know that if I had to, I should have paid attention and read what I was buying.
Not that there was anything else on your mind.
Oh no,
or places
not
we needed
stress.
to be.
No stress in my life. So next we're gonna add a can of diced tomatoes to that.
Yeah, our life is dull. Said no one ever.
And then we're going to add, I'm gonna go for a half a jar of this sauce. This is, how many ounces? 25 ounces or 720 grams. So we're gonna start off with half of it and see if we need all of it. Because a lot of cooking is, it's not exact. You know, if something has enough ingredient, you can, you don't have to use all of it, just because it says so. So the carbs are gonna be in the sauce, so make sure you find one that's no sugar added. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my green pepper in here. I don't even remember if I bought a green pepper. I gotta check my fridge.
I don't think we have one. I know we have the jalapenos, but. Do we? I think we used it last
No
night.
green pepper. Okay, so we're not gonna have, that's fine. Well, it turns out I forgot to buy a green pepper. I am just a mess. Looking at the chili, I am gonna go ahead and give it the rest of the sauce, just because it looks like to me it needs it. But like I said, watch it and look at it. It might not always need it. This is a more meaty sauce. And now we're just gonna put the cover on and let this come together. And then when it's all done cooking, that's when we add in any of the toppings like black beans. I might run to the store while this is cooking and get a green pepper. But right now it's good to go, and we'll be back when this is ready to be tested. And next up, we're gonna add the cheese, mix that all up. And then we're gonna add the almond flour and dry ingredients. So I'm just gonna set this aside, and we're gonna mix up our dry ingredients. Okay, in this bowl, we're gonna put our almond flour. So you're gonna want a nice super fine almond flour. It really does help with the texture of the biscuit to get an almond flour that is super fine. You don't want the chunkier stuff. And we're gonna get baking powder. All right, and then we're gonna need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix this around so it's pretty good and incorporated. And then we're gonna combine everything. And we have a couple more wet ingredients. So we have heavy cream and then a tablespoon of melted butter. And our melted butter. We got all of that in here. Mixing this together. And then pouring the wet into the dry. And I'm gonna mix this all up and set it in the fridge to firm up. So I'll be right back when we're at that point. So my dough has firmed up, and we're just going to season the butter with garlic and Italian seasoning. And when the dough is all rolled out, let me open this up. When the dough is all rolled out, you're just gonna take a paintbrush and paint this on the top, and it's so delicious. So we're gonna go ahead and spoon these up into little balls, and being that you put it in the fridge, it does firm it up so that you can make a nice biscuit. So I'm gonna repeat this process and meet you right back in time to do the butter topping. All right, and we're gonna pop these in the oven. I made slightly bigger biscuits than what the recipe called for, but that's because that's what I wanted to do. So you do you. All right, so at this point, we have yummy chili. So this is when you could add your extras, like your green beans or your black beans. Because I went for my walk and Kyle went for his walk, I'm adding black beans. This is optional. If you don't have room in your macros for black beans, don't add them. But in a half cup, which is a lot of beans, the 21 total carbs minus 9 fiber equals 12 net carbs. So, I mean, that's if I had a whole half cup in a serving, and I'm clearly not gonna have that. You know, like maybe 9 beans are gonna turn up into my serving. So I'm not worried about that.
I bet you need a quarter of a cup, which is 6.
So, I mean, but like I said, I have room in my macros today, so I'm adding black beans. So add whatever, you know, green peppers, add, you know, green beans, stuff like that. So anyway, so now that those are in there, we're gonna serve up a bowl of chili, and the biscuits are ready to come out of the oven. So I'll move the camera over here and we'll do biscuits next. So I have my butter and spices ready to paint on the top. Ooh, these look great. So here are the biscuits fresh out of the oven. And all I'm going to do is take my paintbrush and the herbs and spices and hit the tops. And that is all there is to it. So once these are all done, I'm gonna show you my plate. That's okay. I don't even know if you're in it.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, so here we have it. Now listen, you can add, if you didn't add a bunch of stuff to your chili, you can add toppings like chives, a little cheddar cheese on top. But because I made the biscuit, which has cheese in it, I'm not adding anything to my chili. I'm eating it as is. You could make it hotter by adding more cayenne, like a kick of cayenne pepper, maybe some sriracha. But when you start adding cheese, sour cream, and on top, and the carbs are gonna start adding up. So don't worry about, don't make it hard, make it how you want, but just be thoughtful on what you're doing. So anyways, I'm gonna go enjoy this delicious and hearty bowl of chili, and I'll see you tomorrow